I'm here with Meghan Gutierrez from the Lymphoma Research Foundation at ASCO 2016. Meghan, it's really good to see you.
Thanks for having me, Cortland.
Can you give us a quick overview of the Lymphoma Research Foundation, your mission, and what all you're trying to accomplish?
Of course. The Lymphoma Research Foundation is the nation's largest nonprofit organization that's dedicated to funding innovative cancer research and serving those who have been touched by this disease. Our foundation funds innovative, potentially life-saving lymphoma research, while then using that information in the latest, most cutting-edge research to inform a very robust patient education program.
And so you have 3 grant programs that researchers can apply for. Can you give us an overview on those grant programs?
Absolutely. The Lymphoma Research Foundation places great priority on funding early career scientists. We want to attract the best and brightest minds to continue to study lymphoma and new therapeutics for our patients. Toward that end, we offer 3 grant programs, particularly targeting young investigators. First, we have a fellowship program and a career development award, which are really encouraging young scientists to explore new clinical and therapeutic projects in the field of lymphoma and CLL. Our third project is relatively new to our foundation. It's now entering into its 3rd year, and that's the Lymphoma Clinical Research Mentoring Program. Program participants, called LRF Scholars, are selected not necessarily for a full-scale research program, but for a concept for a clinical protocol. We then bring them together for a week-long workshop where members of our world-class scientific advisory board serve as their faculty. Throughout this week-long workshop, LRF Scholars further refine their protocol, learning from leaders in the field, which is really quite an extraordinary opportunity for them, while also learning more about the greater lymphoma community. So they have the opportunity to interact with our staff, and on some occasions even lymphoma and CLL patients, to learn more about the ways in which they can contribute and be a part of our overall community. For the following 2 years, the LRF Scholars then continue to receive ongoing mentorship from our foundation and from members of the faculty, with the hope that this protocol, this concept they brought to us in the early stages of the program, can go on to become a full-scale research project in which we may be able to support them through one of our career development awards.
That's wonderful. And speaking of patients and caregivers, we're here at ASCO 2016. There's tons of presentations going on. Is there one thing that really stuck with you that you think is crucial for patients and caregivers to learn about?
Well, there's been some extraordinary scientific presentations made already thus far this weekend, and we're very encouraged to see the progress being made. Now, lymphoma and CLL are obviously very diverse diseases with more than 70 subtypes impacting more than 500,000 Americans every year. And so some of the proposals and research projects that we've seen over the course of the weekend have really focused on some of the specific subtypes of the disease. So, for example, there was a wonderful presentation on the use of immunotherapy in Hodgkin lymphoma, obviously a very innovative therapy in a disease state where not a great deal of progress had been made in the previous decades. So we're incredibly encouraged to not only see new treatment options potentially available for these patients, but also potential treatment options with less toxicity. One of the things we have heard from Hodgkin lymphoma patients over the years, since many of them disproportionately really are impacted by this diagnosis at a younger age, primarily adolescents and young adults, they're very concerned about the long-term toxicity and treatment side effects from the treatment of their Hodgkin lymphoma. And so one of the things we've heard from investigators this weekend is that they seek to find new, even more effective therapies, but potentially therapies with fewer treatment side effects. Another area that I think holds great potential excitement are some new therapies in the area of mantle cell lymphoma, a very and highly aggressive form of the disease. There was a very interesting presentation on the potential role of maintenance therapy for these patients. I just left a presentation not too long ago as well on CNS lymphomas, also a very highly aggressive but very rare subtype of the disease. So it's very encouraging for patients to hear about these new therapeutic options, even in the very rare disease subtypes that our scientists, investigators, and clinicians continue to work diligently to find new treatment options for them.